Hi, I'm Kentrell Owens from the University of Washington. I'll be talking to you about user perceptions of usability and security of smartphones as FIDO2 roaming authenticators, which is work from my internship at Duo Security. Passwords, the most common authentication methods, have many weaknesses for online authentication. For example, most data breaches are caused by weak or reused passwords. Researchers and practitioners have tried to develop schemes that are more secure than passwords, yet no harder to use. One of the most compelling alternatives is the FIDO2 standard, which aims to replace passwords with public key cryptography for authentication on the web. Users can authenticate in one of two ways. With platform authenticators, users authenticate to the trusted hardware on the same device on which they are accessing a website. For example, they can use their phone's Touch ID to authenticate. However, they must re-register for each website separately on each device. Basically, each of the user's devices creates its own public-private key pair. With roaming authenticators, however, they would only need to register once because the roaming authenticator itself will store the key pair. To date, though, roaming authenticators have typically taken the form of a USB security key. However, users might not be willing to pay for a USB security key, carry it around, or figure out how to plug it into different devices. These drawbacks have driven recent efforts to enable smartphones to serve as roaming authenticators. That is, you can use your smartphone to log into websites on all of your devices. The use of smartphones as FIDO2 roaming authenticators is the focus of our research. Duo Security has been experimenting with a software-based mobile authenticator that we call Neo. In short, the Neo prototype lets you use your existing smartphone as a FIDO2 roaming authenticator. We compared user perceptions of Neo relative to passwords through a user study. 97 Mechanical Turk participants were assigned to use either Neo on their own smartphone or a password to log into a fictitious bank 10 times over 2 weeks. We studied several research questions. I'll summarize our findings for each. First, how difficult did participants find Neo's initial setup? Participants found setup to be quite difficult. Over half of Neo participants dropped out during setup, compared to 10% of passwords participants. And even after completing setup, Neo participants rated the process as significantly less usable on the system usability scale compared to passwords participants. Next, we examine usability quantitatively in day-to-day authentication. While FIDO2 conceptually has many usability benefits, passwords often outperformed Neo in our study. Passwords participants were more likely to be successful at logging in than Neo participants. Passwords participants took less time to authenticate than Neo participants. And password participants were also more likely to rate signing in as easy. We then examined participants' perceptions of Neo's security and usability related to passwords. In terms of user perceptions, Neo fared better than passwords. All Neo participants felt Neo was secure. Over half of Neo participants said they were likely or very likely to use Neo over passwords for 5 of the 6 account types we asked about. However, passwords still received a higher system usability scale score than Neo at the end of the study. Finally, given Neo's important security benefits and potential usability benefits relative to passwords, we investigated barriers to its adoption. Neo participants were concerned about having their phones available when they hoped to log in. A third of participants reported misplacing their phones daily. They also worried about account recovery. To summarize, we found that participants accurately recognized Neo's security benefits over passwords. However, despite Neo's conceptual usability benefits, participants found Neo substantially less usable than passwords, both in objective quantitative measures and in perception. To spur Neo's adoption, stressing security benefits thus may not be enough. Smartphones introduce new challenges relative to USB security keys, including running out of battery, poor reception, and being a high-value target for theft. Nonetheless, our study highlights key opportunities for spurring adoption of smartphones as FIDO2 roaming authenticators. Thank you.